Okay, back with another video on this inline 4-cylinder gas-powered engine from Sterling Kits that I showed on an earlier video. Several different things that have changed since that last one. 3 issues with this machine basically are they do smoke a lot. Supposedly the cure for that was to get their cylinder piston ring upgrade, which I did on this one. Here's the old cylinder out of there, the copper ones with the has the O-ring for the piston ring. Did that. Didn't seem to cure a whole lot for the smoke. Maybe it provides better durability. Time will tell. Wasn't too hard of an upgrade to do. Hardest part was getting the O-rings in to seal off the water jacket. The next thing is, or one of the biggest things that are an issue too, is to consider on some of the earlier models, and I don't know if it's still going on or not, the once you take your engine apart to make that, you want to check the connecting rod bearing end caps and journals in there. That mine were loose. They required some tightening down, and but they could have come loose. So I tightened those down, even put a little Loctite on them. So hopefully that's taken care of. So you may want to check your engine. Not sure if that's been improved or been taken care of. The other thing is the engines don't seem to rev up like they should. They're calling for I think a 1,000 to 6,000 RPM. The most I was able to get out of it, stock setup, was around 4,300 RPM. The engine just would bog down at full throttle. I think many guys are aware of that or have had that issue. I did try a different carburetor. This is a Traxxas carburetor off an RC model. It's designed for alcohol, but you can dial it in. I was able to get maybe a couple hundred more RPM on the top end, but still wasn't acceptable. Next thing I thought of was ignition. Thought maybe the ignition was not keeping up, couldn't keep up with the spark count that was needed. Running at higher RPM was just dropping off. So I dug out an old RC aircraft ignition that I had. This was an old Pro Spark from years ago. Has a little tuning knob on there for you can adjust your high-end timing, advance. And I thought, well, I'll just try it to see if it makes any difference. It works it, got it set up, and I was getting maybe another 300 to 400 RPM out of that once I got it tweaked in. Still not totally acceptable. So that leaves valve floating, which another person mentioned on that last video I put, and I kind of saved that one for last because that's a big job. The springs that are on there are rather flimsy. I mean, you can barely push on it and the valve's open. I did not have any springs that were that size, that were any heavier gauge, but I did have some that were a little bit bigger. Unfortunately, they wouldn't fit on the existing valve keepers that came with the engine, or they're on the engine. They would slide up over that when it would run. I couldn't get a run out of it. So anyway, I had to make brand new valve keepers, 8 of those, cut them out of some bronze I had, 3/8 inch bronze. I had to go up to a diameter of about 360 thousandths and then cut all the contours. But it took a while, but it was worth the effort, because now the engine, and I'll run it here a very short period of time, the RPM was high enough that my generator burned out my regulator circuit in there because it was revving up to over 6,000 RPM and sounds much better. Big improvement. I think Sterling needs to do something with that, maybe offer a kit with improved springs or something there. But anyway, I'll plug it in and we'll see what we can get here. Now, here's my RPM meter. But as you can see, much improved RPM. We were getting over 6,000. I know the specs call for 6,000 on their website, but the engine wasn't smoking as bad either. And I don't know what to attribute that to, whether I'm low on oil or whatever. I do not have this hooked up that I can run my fan on the radiator, so I don't want to run it too long. But anyway, hope this helps somebody. If you have a question, leave in the comments what I've done here. But that definitely improved the RPM range in the engine. Sounds much better. Really does make a difference. So thanks for watching. I'm going to try getting back to the original ignition probably, and getting my fan working, whatnot, and see what happens.